Hello, HoepFLows, and thanks for tuning into another one. I'm just going to start today with showing you the state of my client's hair. It's an old wash and go that just got put in a bun for a little while, but it's only been like a week old, so the scalp is still relatively clean. What we're going to start with doing is go ahead and spray the entire head with water. I have a mister here, and that's just going to help loosen up everything so I won't have to actually comb through my client's hair before styling. After that, we're going to go ahead and take my client's hair and part it into 4 sections. As soon as we parted the hair into 4 sections, I went ahead and started the pre-stretch method by pulling it out after I sprayed it and twisting it to keep it stretched so that it'll make detangling an easier process. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with my detangling method, which is very simple and is very healthy for the hair. I'm not going to comb through the hair. I'm just going to take my scalp mix, which is a scalp treatment, and I'm going to go ahead and take the hair and part it with my fingers so I can feel for any tangles or knots and apply my scalp treatment onto the scalp. It's going to replace grease, you all. So what you used to know as grease is now this all naturally derived scalp mix I have here. You're going to want to do that with every section after all sections have been treated well with scalp care. I'm going to go ahead and start the detangling process. Here I have indigo leave-in spray, and I'll put the description in the bottom so you know what this is. I'm going to go ahead and go back, and this is my L of the locks method. I'm going to go ahead and spray the entire hair with this leave-in treatment. Go ahead and start putting moisture, and we're going to go ahead and start detangling it. So because the hair has been sprayed pretty well, it's going to make it easier to go ahead and part it. So I'm going to go ahead and start sectioning the hair off for the style that we're going to do today. Take your time with parting as hair is not completely detangled yet, but separating the hair really well at this point is going to make it easier to manage in the sections, and you'll know what's going on. And here's my shirt from Hopefullycre8ed Designs. You all will be able to order that soon. So I'm going to go back over with a metal highlighting comb, we call it in hair school, and make this part really clean, because the key to having a very nice style on natural hair is clean parts. You don't necessarily have everything slick and tightly pulled, because that's very damaging to the hair, but having nice clean parts really amps up your style and makes it look very clean and elegant. One thing I want you to notice is that, right now I'm going to go ahead and apply the oil to her hair. That's the LO, so we're on O, the oil part of her hair. I want you to notice that I keep the hair pulled out at all times, so you want to keep the hair stretched at all times. I'm taking my finger and just pulling up piece by piece and feeling for tangles and any possible knots. This method is preferred for me over using a comb, because a comb can't feel tangles and knots like your hand can. So I just take my time, and it's not going to take too long, because like I said, we already misted it with our water, and then we misted it with our leave-in, so it's already getting the moisture aspects. I'm just going to take my time and separate the hair piece by piece so that the hair is smooth enough for me to do the style, and it's still in a healthy, manageable state, and I'm not breaking her hair off, and nor am I causing any damage to her hair doing it this way. With this detangling process, I am working from right to left, but you can work in the direction that's best for you. I normally don't work in right to left, I normally work left to right, but I was trying to make sure you can clearly see everything from the camera point of view, so that's why I'm working it this way. And like I said, take your time, feel for knots, feel for tangles, and just slowly separating them. Because the hair has been misted and oil has been applied, it should make this process very easy. Once the section is complete and you've pretty much gone through it pretty good, separating the hair and make sure tangles are out, just keep the hair nicely pulled down. You're constantly making sure the product is penetrating the hair without combing through it, and you're also pulling out any shed hair, so that just alleviates the comb right there. Okay, right here, when you're done with the section, just go ahead and twist it down so it stays stretched out and it's stretched out and it's out the way. Here I'm going to show you again how to detangle, finger detangle. I'm right here, I am working from left to right. But go ahead and take your time, feel for tangles and knots. If you feel any hairs that are tightly coiled, just go ahead and separate those. And take your time, work your hair slowly through the section to prevent any damage or breakage. When you run into a spot like this where the hair is super tightly coiled, just go ahead and you take your time to separate this one individual coil by keeping the hair pulled out and taking your fingers and separating it, and that's going to help you detangle that tightly coiled section. This is the last section of the 4 sections in the back, so go ahead and twist up each section, and as you see, all 4 sections are completely finger detangled and twisted down to keep them stretched, and they are separated and out the way. So this is a great spot to move on to the next section of styling. Go ahead and take the hair out of the twist, and we're going to start with our zigzag parting. Go ahead and take your rat tail comb and start working through the section. This is the big advantage of having natural hair. It will help you out if you help it out. By that I mean, go ahead and as you're separating the hair, I don't necessarily have to put the hair into clips. It just kind of falls into place and stays where it needs to stay. So as I'm separating each section, As long as I don't marry the hair back together, the parts that I'm creating are going to stay separated. Alright, right here I'm going in like I did before. Like I said, clean parts is the key to a nice, elegant, beautiful looking natural hairstyle, is making sure those parts are clean. So right now, in order to create the twist for each zigzag section, I'm going to go ahead and take my rat tail comb and just follow the zigzag part through. Oh my god, I fall asleep. Follow the zigzag parts through in order to make sure that I have a good or the right size section for each twist. And you already have a guide because you already started the zigzag parting, and that's going to help you determine where each twist is going to go. Now, like I said, this is my olive oil smoothing hole pudding. I like this stuff so much. This is the C of the LOC. We're going to go ahead and apply the cream now to each section, and that's going to help gather the hair. And like I said, again, add moisture to keep that hair healthy, smooth, and giving you that nice, clean, shiny looking finish. After that, I'm going to go in with the Aunt Jackie's Don't Shrink gel. Now, the gel, I use different gels. This time I use this gel because I had it on hand. I love the way it smells, and it's gonna, like I said, not have it shrink so bad. So it keeps it stretched out as I'm twisting it, and it's really gonna help pull all the flyaways and all the hair together as I twist the hair. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and apply, this is shea butter mixed with almond oil, and that's just what I use to seal all the moisture in. This stuff right here is the bomb. If y'all don't know about it, wake up. What I'm gonna do here is take this Shine and Jam gel and put it in between each section, and that's going to keep my sections clean as I go ahead and do each twist. And once I put it in between each section, I'm just going to take my brush and go ahead and brush it in, start smoothing it in, and already you can see how smooth and shiny it's going to be. And it's not just about the overall look, but it's really about the health of the hair. And because we imparted so much moisture to begin with, this process, this finish, seamless, guaranteed results. Now what I'm doing is I'm just twisting this section of hair. I twist section by section because it helps keep everything nice and smooth and together and separated. What I'm doing is just two-strand flat twisting this section of hair, just gathering everything, making sure I don't have any extra hairs flying away, and that's gonna make sure. Excuse me, I'm talking to my other sister in the corner. But that's going to keep everything nice and smooth while you're twisting it. And once you're done with that section, you're done. It's more challenging for me to part everything out and then have to come back and retwist everything. So I just twist as I go. But like I said, every style is different. Every style has a different need. So for this style, I just twist once I'm done parting that section off. Then that's done and out the way, and that helps you keep parts clean again, because you're taking all the hair that belongs in that section and keeping it in that section, and you won't have to worry about that when you go to the next section. And this part, let me read it. It does not have to be like pull your skin tight, because that is going to cause damage. So when you twist the section of hair, you just want to twist it to make sure that it's smooth and it'll last a while. That's the key. You want these protective styles to last. You want your ends tucked in and you want your hair thoroughly moisturized. Now, I'm not really sure if you can see it, but my client does need a trim for her ends. But for today, we are just doing the style portion. We'll get to a trim another video. If y'all want, just let me know in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and start with the next section and follow this side up. I do all of one side, then I'm going to go ahead and switch to the other side. As you go, sometimes hairs do get mixed up, so look and make sure that all your parts are clean. If you just need to go back in and fix it, just go back in and fix it. Go ahead and make sure that part is still really clean, and that'll help you have a great finish. Again, I'm going back in with my ORS Smooth and Whole Pudding, and then I'm going to go back in and apply the Shine and Jam gel on the outside of each part and brush that in. As you're twisting the end, twisting all the way to the end of this two-strand twist, if you feel like the ends of the hair doesn't quite have enough product or is a little dry, go ahead and reapply product to make sure, because these ends are going to be tucked in. You want it to be moisturized. They're the oldest part of the hair, so they need the most attention. So go ahead and reapply any of your moisture products, may it be your cream, may it be your oil, may it be your sealant, to make sure that they have the right amount of moisture all the way through their hair, so they can have a healthy protective style experience instead of just a protective style that's not really getting all the benefits that protective styles do get. As I'm working through the whole entire style, I keep doing the same process, but one thing I really want you all to pay attention to is I keep the hair pulled out. That's going to help me keep the hair stretched and prevent any further tangles or knots. And if I feel some as I go through the hair, I just take my time and separate them, because I am going to twist the hair, so I want to make sure it's smooth enough for me to twist it without snagging through. And as you see, the finger detangling process worked well. I was able to twist each section up without having to like pry each section before I'm ready to twist it, which could cause further damage. So finger detangling is a very, very good way to help retain length and keep your hair healthy without having to necessarily comb through your hair every style because you think that's the only way you're going to get a smooth style. As you see, that's not true. So finger detangling is something I really rely heavily on when it comes to maintaining length and keeping your hair healthy. Alright, we're at the top now. I'm going to go ahead and spray this section. This section was actually stretched out a little better than the back. It didn't have as many coils, like tightly coiled curls in the inside, so I'm not going to take as much time to finger detangle it, just enough to go ahead and create the finishing result that I want at the top. So I just sprayed the hair with a mist and with indigo, just enough to go ahead and get it parted, and then I'm going to work section by section when it comes to detangling. So right here what I'm doing is I'm creating a curved part where the better known as U part is going to have a little point at the middle to give you some definition and a sharper look when it comes to looking at the front of the style all the way around. So what I did is I just created a curved part, and with the little point in the middle, it works well with her face shape, and it works right along with her hairline because she does have a little bit of a widow's peak. So I'm going to work with it instead of work against it. That's the key with natural hair. Keeping it healthy and keeping it looking smooth is working with what you have. Don't try to force it into a state that it's normally naturally not in. Now, if you want to smooth the edges, that's fine, but creating all this extra sleek, almost relaxed look, that may not be what you want to do all the time. Forget may not. That is not what you want to do all the time. Every now and then is okay, but once you've gone ahead and slicked that style for the style, don't repetitively do it day in and day out. Otherwise, you will have no edges. So work with the natural hair in the state that it's in. It will make it look more natural, if that makes any sense, as the style gets older, versus constantly loading all that product up on your edge control. And save you some money, honey, because you don't have to keep buying all this edge control all the time. Just put enough to make the style look nice and clean and smooth. As it gets older, if you want to put a little steel or something like that, mix it with a little water, use your hands to smooth your edges back. That's going to help you keep your overall hair healthy and not just retaining length or the inside. So right now what I'm doing is I'm going to make sure that my client has a smooth finished look. Like I said, I'm just going to put enough edge control on the outside to brush it into the twist that I'm going to do on this section. I'm not going to create no S patterns and Z patterns and all that. I'm just smoothing the edges into the direction that they naturally grow, and that's going to help the style look clean and polished and elegant. When you start right, you can end right. So when you start with a positive mindset and you already have a positive energy, you're thinking on good things when it comes to you and your client, you're going to have a good result. So I'm pretty sure they're going to show their appreciation at the end of you doing their style, but make sure you show appreciation to them too for sitting, being patient, because I know finger detangling is a little bit longer than an average comb through style, but just show their appreciation for, thank you for being patient, thank you for being still, thank you for cooperating with me throughout the styling experience. When you're working with rather large sections like I am, you want to make sure as you go through the flat twist, you pull up every piece. So every piece from the part on both sides. So the outside edges, as you twist it up, go ahead and pull the hair, make sure all the hair is gathered together into the twist. And the same thing goes for the inner part too. Now the truth is right here, I'm not even really going to finger detangle this section because it doesn't need it. I'm really going to just moisturize it very well and smooth it all back together into a ponytail, because that's going to help. I'm going to kind of explain with my hands how the style is going to gather together, but it's going to help create a uniform look, so you can almost read the hairstyle like artwork from the back and all the way around. It's all going to come together in the center and give you a little bit of height, like the client acts. She does not like a whole lot of height, so you just want to go ahead and bring all the twists together in the middle. But this middle part really doesn't need to be combed through or smooth because it's a small section, so you don't need to make sure everything is super smooth as far as putting the whole hair in a ponytail. It's full of moisture and it's already going to be gathered together in a ponytail, so the little bit of, I would say, bump that you see is going to actually add to the style. So we're not trying to get this super slick laid ponytail, just really smooth to give the style a nice clean finish. Okay, right here I'm taking the twist and almost like forming the style together. As you see, I'm going to take I'm taking the middle section and I almost created a little top knot, but I flattened it out so that all the twists can go on top of it. I'm going to take each side and wrap it around the little top knot that's at the top, and then I'm going to gather the left side and the right side of the back twist in order to keep all the height at the top of the hair, and making sure all the ends are tucked in to really give this client the benefits of a protective style with the elegant look at the end. So as you see here, I have really taken the time to mold the hair into the direction that I wanted to go before I just started loading the client up with all these pins. So once the hair is molded into the right place that you want it, then you can start applying pins. Okay, so we're wrapping up the style. We're making sure all the pins are in place, making sure that another little tip to make sure you have a good clean finish style is hide all the pins that you can. You don't really want any pins showing, so kind of move hair around so the pins aren't showing. Again, I'm just going to add another edge control. I will put in the description below. This is a finishing edge control, so this is not the same one that I used to apply throughout the parts, and I am literally brushing the back of the ends, if that makes sense. So I'm not necessarily taking the brush and constantly swooping over the front of her hairline, but beyond that, I'm brushing the product into the hair because the product has already smoothed the edges, so you don't really need to go back over with the brush. You already formed the shape that you want with the edges with your finger, so it's easy to keep the hair healthy and safe by not constantly brushing over it. You just want to brush the product in, and here's the finished look. Hope you liked it and you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe and comment for more videos.